Hi, I'm Shom. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a Project Pan update video for you all for the month of May. A lot of exciting progress this past month, including a few empties. So without further ado, I'll just jump straight into it. If Project Pan is something you also enjoy, something you're doing as well, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you like this video, please like and or subscribe. All right, for today's video, I am going to start from, I guess, least exciting progress all the way to my empties. And starting off with the first two items, it probably is no surprise, is my MAC lip combo. So I've got my notes here in front of me as well, just to track usage from the past month and overall progress. So for the month of May, the MAC lip pencil in red, I actually only managed to use it 7 times, and I still haven't been able to sharpen it yet. Let's see if you can see that. Kind of looks gross, crazy. But yeah, what I actually did not expect compared to some of my other lip pencils is just how long it takes to use up the pencil for sharpening. I mean, you can see, but like, it feels like it hasn't budged at all. So I don't know. Originally I thought I'd be able to finish it this year, but I think it might actually take me the full year and then some, but we shall see. Similarly with the lipstick in Russian Red, I only reached for this product 2 times this past month. Again, it's one of those things where compared to the Armani, which I'll show later, is not as easy for me to incorporate and wear it because it's such a full-on red. And I keep saying that, but I've been trying to figure out ways to either sheer it out, combine it with other colors, or maybe even, find different uses for it, like using it as a blush. But I will still stick to it. Hopefully we'll be able to see more progress in 2 to 3 months time. And then hopefully also in the fall, I'll be able to kind of reach for it more because lip colors, I can kind of lean into darker lips during that time. The next product I have up is the Becca highlighter in Moonstone. For the month of May, I only used this 3 times, and I think this is a product of like me just not reaching for highlighters as much, plus with the warmer weather, naturally I'm already looking pretty sweaty or glowy from the temperatures, but for June, I do want to try to use it a little bit more just to kind of get some more use out of it, see how that impacts just overall pan progress. But I still love this highlighter. It's a great highlighter. The only problem I have with it, like I've mentioned in the past, is how not so great it is to travel with because of how finely milled the product is. After that is the Trended Up primer that I have. Nothing really to report on. I think like the progress has been slow but steady. I think from the progress videos, you might be able to see kind of just a slight dip in the pan. I definitely think with consistent use, I can finish this up this year. I just don't really have much to say about it. It's become something part of my routine. I don't think I would go out and repurchase something like this because it just doesn't play with my skincare, also my skin type. I do tend to notice like when I do use this primer coupled with like my cushion foundation, I tend to see patchiness and flakiness around my nose and the corners of my mouth. And because I can't that makes it really hard to touch up and cover when I'm at work or out and about. I just don't think, it just introduces too many factors into my base routine that I don't want to have to account for and try to perfect. I just don't want to have to worry about it, really. The next item up is the Maybelline color tattoo that I have in Front Runner. Progress is happening, but I think you'll be able to see that it is still slow. I have noticed that it's become a little bit crumbly, and I don't know if it's because of some areas in it where it's just been, the product's been mushed up to the side of the container, that it's just acting that way. Yeah, it's okay. I think I've realized from doing Project Pan with this product is that I'm not a big cream eyeshadow person. Things like this, I think, have typically been marketed by people to be a great eyeshadow primer. I haven't really found that to be the case for my oily eyelids, so I don't think I would go out and repurchase something like this. I'd probably either lean into a sparkly shadow with an eyeshadow primer like the NARS that I typically use, or I'd go fully on the opposite end of the spectrum with like a glossy lid where you're kind of, accepting the fact that, your eyeshadow or eye base is going to move and have a little bit more slip. And for this, it seems silly to have to put a primer underneath a product that's supposed to act like a primer. So for that, I just don't think it has much use or function in my routine. For the Maybelline color tattoo, I used it a total of 4 times. The next product I have is the Armani Ecstasy Shine, and I actually used this a total of 15 times. These counts also include like reapplication, so the reason why sometimes why it's so much higher than the MAC lip pencil and the Russian Red lipstick is because of this balmy texture, it's more susceptible to wear over time, so I am more likely to reapply as the day goes on. But I really do like this formula. I think it makes this red super wearable, very buildable, and overall it looks nice. I think my lips also feel super hydrated whenever I use it, and it's just one of those things where I don't feel like it's too full on because it's so buildable. I can make it like a nice flush of red like I have on today. So yeah, and then I also think progress is pretty obvious too, if you see from the clips that we are getting somewhere with this product. I don't have any doubt that I will be able to pan this year. Next up, I have the Makeup Forever concealer, and I used this a total of 3 times. And you'll see, because I've only used it 3 times, the products hasn't really decreased much in weight. There also still is no windowing quite just yet. I think the drop in usage is really just because I reached for my cushion foundation a little bit more this month. There's no reason why I favored it more than the concealer. I think I just kind of forgot about it this past month, so didn't really use it as much. All right, and then the last one before I get into my empties is Surratt lid lacquer in Kira Kira. And I think you can probably see in the clips, but there is a little bit of a dip in the product. I'm really enjoying using this product. I really like the glitter and the shimmer that it gives my eyes. It's also a nice, I think, finishing touch too for certain eye looks. Great also for wearing on its own, and I think will be something that I'll reach for a lot during the summer months. All right, and now, round of applause, please. The first empty I have up is finally the r+co dry shampoo. I've said in the past that I don't quite like this dry shampoo because of the gritty texture it gives my hair. I think if you use it as a styling wax, then it makes more sense to me. But I think when I think of dry shampoo, I think of something that kind of like degreases my hair and almost restores or refreshes it. But because of the texture it gives, it does give that like gritty feeling that I just don't like. I just don't like how it makes my hair feel after I've applied it. But if I'm styling my hair with something like this, then yes, I don't mind because it's giving you the right hold. Overall, I don't think I would repurchase it because it's not something I would reach for when I'm styling my hair. But I think if you're looking for something with hold to do either slick back hairstyles or just any type of updo, this is a great option. Also, if you're using it on day 2 hair, the fragrance is really nice, and it a little goes a long way for the hold as well. So something like this will last you quite a bit of time. And if that's you, then I think this would be something worth trying. But I'm so glad to have it out of my routine so I can kind of like focus on other things, because I've had this for quite a bit of time. And now the last product that I have that I finished this past month is the ColourPop Cream Blush in 25-8. And I use this a total of, to pan, I use this a total of 147 times. And if you're familiar with my project pan and the past updates I've done either here or on Instagram, you know that I've been working on this for probably the last 2 years. So this has been a long time coming. I can't believe it's taken me this long. Another thing that I know some people would do is they would scoop out all of the remaining product in here and depot it and then use it. But I just feel like the same thing with lipsticks. I have a lot of blushes, and I have way more than I can use in my lifetime, and this is already like mostly like I've put in the effort like there. So I'm just not going to continue to try to use it just for the sake of panning it completely, because I think I can happily say that I've put in the time, I've fully appreciated it, and I just want to focus on using other things in my inventory now. Alright, so that was everything that was in my last Project Pan update and the empties that have come up. And to replace the dry shampoo and the blush, I'm actually going to pull in another blush that's in my 2026 Project Pan, and that's this naming blush. It's this really gorgeous red shade that I'm excited to use. Another reason why I picked a cream blush is because this is kind of the oldest cream blush I have in my inventory. I think it's also just been sitting there, so I wanted to pull it into Project Pan to be able to kind of put some use and attention to it. Also, with the summer months, this is like the best time to use a red, and I've always wanted to use it a little bit more, so this is kind of the push I'm giving myself to give this product the attention that it needs. And then the other product, which some of you might be familiar with, is and I had depotted it into this palette, but it is this bottom corner one. It's from the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette in the shade Tease. I depotted it because it just wasn't working in the original rectangular pan, and because I reach for this palette quite frequently, it's just easy for me to grab and go. You'll see I already have a small pan in it, but the goal here for this project pan is to use it up in its entirety. This was, I think, in my project pan last year or the year prior, but I've been working on it for quite a bit of time, and it's just taken a little bit longer given the fact that it is a darker, more of a shading shade, so I don't use as much of it in one go as, say, like a lighter all over the lid color. So yeah, those are my updates for the month of May. I'm excited to, like, I think months like this make me realize, like, this is kind of why I do Project Pan. One, not only to fully realize how long it takes to use a product, right? Like, using this cream blush, I think in my mind, I thought that cream blushes would take less time than powders to use up, but in reality, it took me a lot longer to use this than some of my other powder blushes. And then two, I think I also, it's so satisfying to see and realize your progress, right? Because sometimes you'll have months where there really isn't much to report and share from a progress standpoint, but then obviously you are still using it on a somewhat regular basis, and all of that, like, I think this month showed that, like, all of the work that you've put toward a product to finally pan them all around the same time, it just feels so good and is super motivating to me. And I think it's just allowed me to, like, it's reinvigorated my excitement for doing Project Pan. This is why I continue to do it. It's not only to curb my spending, but then to also fully appreciate what I have already, and find ways to kind of work with what I have instead of going out and trying to buy the next trendy item and have it sit on a shelf for months or years at a time. So yeah, if you have any tips and tricks for any of the products I mentioned, how to use a red lip, I am all ears. Please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.